Mary educates diverse communities about medical marijuana and the consequences of illegal marijuana use in Florida. Hear advice from leaders in your community. Listen to the podcast, watch the video cast to know all the facts. Follow Mary Forum Radio on social. Take the free basic education course and test your knowledge. Find answers to all of your marijuana questions and visit mary.famu.edu. That's mmeri.famu.edu. And join the conversation. Mary, educate, learn, talk.
Hello and great day to you. I'm Stephanie Van Vark. I'm a small business owner, and this is Just Talking Business. The guest we have today, I have to say, this subject matter is really, quite frankly, foreign to me. I've watched as this industry has grown significantly. I absolutely see the need for it, but I don't know much about it, and in particular in my communities. So I'm going to let her come on and tell us what this is all about, and hopefully we'll all learn some stuff. Hi, Vanessa. How are you?
Hello. How are you, Stephanie? Thank you so much for having me. And, the first thing I heard you say, you were like, it's necessary. This industry is necessary, but like, you don't know about it. And I think today, the audience is really going to be like, wait, what? So I think that you capture the sentiment of a lot of different people that I've interacted with when they hear the industry and they hear what I do. So.
Right. Well, tell us who you are and what you do. Let's start with that, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty.
So my name is Vanessa Pierre. I'm born and raised in the county of Dade. I am from Miami, from North Miami, and I own EcoRenew Solutions. It's a waste management company that focuses on recycling. We transform garbage to gold.
Okay, we're going to get to that tagline because I saw that, and I was like, oh, she's going to have to explain that. But yes. Okay, let's start with that first statement. I will say I haven't done a lot of research in this area, but I absolutely see the need. I've seen the climate change we were talking about just last night. It was cold in the middle of April in Miami. That's odd to me. There's been talk about we could create more jobs if we really invested in this industry. What do you think the reluctance is? I mean, I feel like it's money, but you correct me if I'm wrong.
I think the reluctance is really not knowing, because before I broke out into the waste management industry, so I am my education is all my education is all in the education sector. Mm-hmm. So I got my bachelor's from Bethune-Cookman University in education and special ed. Got my master's from Nova in education. Got my doctorate from Morgan State in education. Right. Mm-hmm. So this is not something that I like. I was an advocate. I was go green. I was none of that. Right. Listen, I used to hear it. I'm like, okay, climate change. That's cool for those people. Good for them. Right. But I really think the reluctance is not knowing, and honestly, the presentation of it being boring or that has nothing to do with me. Right. Because even as an educator, I have to look at it through that lens, right? When I used to introduce concepts to my students, at first, at face value, they'd be like, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not interested in that. I don't know about it, whatever. But then when you break it down in terminology that regular, like in regular terms that we can understand, then you be like, okay, I understand the importance of climate change. I understand why it's no longer cold during Thanksgiving or December anymore, like around that season anymore. I understand why we are, as humans, are becoming unhealthy because the microplastic in the ocean is fed off, fishes feed off of that. When we order fish, we eat those microplastics. So like when we make it relatable to that people can understand, I think there'll be more acceptance. But right now we're using words that regular people don't understand. We're regular people, but like,
no, I get what you're saying.
We're not communicating in ways that people can understand the concept. So I don't blame people for being apprehensive. I don't blame people for not caring, because it's like, what does that got to do with me? It doesn't sound like a me problem. It sounds like a you problem, right? And also, and I'm not going to say money because there's too much money out here. People are getting funded for silly things, right? So I'm not going to say money because we see time and time again that if it's money can't ever be the problem, because they print off money like crazy for things that they want to, right? The government funds initiatives that they want to. They send aid to countries that they want to. Mm-hmm. So money's never been an issue.
Right.
I think it's a lack of education, a lack of knowing. So it's like if you don't know something, you're not going to be interested in learning about it because you don't even know it exists.
Right. Right. Well, okay. So most of your work occurs in Haiti, which is a country that the majority of the population is of African descent, like African Americans here in the States. This is not an industry that we've been particularly well informed in. Mm-hmm. Are you finding you have to have a different conversation than you would when you're dealing with other races and cultures when it comes around green, renewable, recyclable?
Yes and no. Yes and no, because in Haiti there's a lack of waste management infrastructure, right? So whereas here so I live in the city of North Miami. So in my neighborhood, every Tuesday and Thursday they pick up the solid waste, and on Wednesday they pick up the recycling, like clockwork. And then I think on Friday or Thursday they pick up the bulk, right? So they're on a schedule. When we throw it away, it disappears.
Right.
Right. Whereas in developing nations, in emerging nations, there's a lack of waste management infrastructure. When you throw it away, you see it. So you either burn it or you bring it by the ocean and you dump it out. So it never really goes away. It goes away from your door, but when you're driving in the street, when you're walking the street, you see it right there in front of you. So I think that people that are in emerging nations, they see the problem of waste management more in their face because they're living amongst it.
Okay.
As we don't live amongst it, right? Once we throw it away, it disappears. We may go to some neighborhoods and we may see some things in the grass on the floor, but it's not a big issue. So to us, we're like, oh, we don't have a waste management issue here.
Right.
We have garbage pickers. We have this. We have that. Not knowing that it's the waste management industry is $1 trillion industry, and this is an industry that's never going away. During a pandemic, didn't go away.
Right, exactly.
Not going away.
Exactly.
No matter what natural disaster, no matter if the zombies come, we're going to need waste management. Okay, we're going to need it. So, but on the other hand, if in an emerging nation, they're living amongst it and they know that it's a problem, but then they may not have the resources to mitigate that problem.
Well, so I mean, to your point, we all went through a pandemic. Many of us, you know what I do actually, until we could figure out this whole screen thing, we're out of gas. So it was fortunate that your industry, you're right, continued. What is your nemesis? What are those things that could completely shut you down in this industry?
You said what could shut us down?
Yeah, exactly. What's that thing that
if people stop making waste, and they're not.
So you wouldn't think like government decisions and things of that nature could have some impose
for recycling. The thing is that this is my thing, right? There's a lot of like campaigns like stop using plastic, stop doing this. I don't think that's ever going to happen because our medical equipment. So when you go to the doctor, if you're going to go get a mammogram, the equipment that they use, that's all plastic.
Okay,
that's all plastic. Everything that we use, the furniture that we're sitting on, like if it's not 100% wood, and sometimes it can look like wood, but it's plastic. Plastic has become so integrated in our lives. We don't even realize that it's plastic. Like the clothes that we're wearing, if it doesn't say 100% cotton and it says poly something, you're wearing plastic. Okay. You are wearing, it's become so normal for us that we think just because it's not like a water bottle, oh, I'm not using plastic. Yes, you are. It is everywhere in our house, in our refrigerator, everything that we use, right? Nobody's getting milk delivered in the glass anymore in front of their house. Right. Most of the canisters, like unless you drink like Silk almond milk. No, but even those, if you get the gallon ones, it's in plastic. It's HDPE plastic. So it's become too integrated into our lives for it to stop. And plastic comes from oil. They rig the oil. So unless you want to upset the big oil companies, we know two industries not to bother: the oil and big pharma. So unless you're here to corrupt and to shake the tables of the big mafia called big oil and big pharma, plastic is not going anywhere.
Okay, good point. Now, back to that tagline, because I saw that. I was like, and so I had to go through the website. Like, okay, I had to do some research here. Transforming garbage to gold. Explain that to us.
So when we think of things that we throw away, right, that's all garbage. We know that it's garbage, but we're transforming that into gold, and not gold bars, but gold meaning resources, right? So like I just said, that medical equipment that could be used to early detect someone having breast cancer, that's gold. That is gold. That is invaluable, because it's like, wow, like you don't know that, you may have a lump, or you don't know that, if you got to go in through to get a CAT scan, that big machine, that's all plastic, that's all PP plastic, right? So, I mean, this is the gold that we need in our lives. These are the resources that bring us better resources. So gold, not many of those gold bars, but it's just as valuable. It sits right up there in the same category as gold, because it's so valuable to us that we cannot just leave it. So we're turning garbage, that's something that's seen as trash, like nobody wants that, into something of value. So we're doing no value to now valuable.
So why did you choose Haiti?
I chose Haiti because I'm Haitian, even though I was born in America, born and raised in America. My family's Haitian. Everyone that I hang around with Haitian. Like, I just grew up in a Haitian household, Haitian traditions, and me, I saw the need, and I had to do something, right? So there are many people who have, of course, who have Haitian ethnicity, but then they have their businesses here. That's cool. Everybody can do what they want, but there was just too much. There was too much opportunity, and I always say that, just because I was born in America, just because I was raised in America, it does not mean that America is my end all be all.
Right.
I'm a world traveler before anything. So even before I discovered this business in 2017, I used to always travel to the other hemisphere. I was always traveling on the Eastern Hemisphere. And I was just so intrigued. I'm like, wow, this is really life. Like, this is where history is. This is where architecture is. Like, this is where beauty is. And if you're stuck in this, like, in this mind frame of like America is the end all be all, you haven't explored enough. You have not explored enough at all. So in 2017, for the first time in over 20 years, my friend invited me to go on vacation with her to Haiti. We went on vacation. It was beautiful. And as we're going up the mountain, we're going to Fort Jacques. I see these marchands which are street vendors. They were selling their fruits, meats, and vegetables on the side of the street. But they just pushed the trash to the side on the sidewalk. They just pushed it to the side, and then they were continuing to sell their items. And me and my privileged mindset, I'm just like, ew, what are they doing? Like, I'm like, isn't there a health department here to help regulate this? And that's not right. Somebody should report them. Me and my privileged Christopher Columbus mindset for 2 seconds, and I was just like, whoa, Vanessa, step out of it. Like, and this is the privilege that a lot of us have.
Absolutely.
When we travel, we're like, well, in America, they don't do it like that. And it's like, simmer down. We're not in America. Like, we have to adapt to these people. Like, they don't have to adapt to us. Absolutely. Like, sometimes when we go to these countries and we're mad because they don't speak English, and it's like, okay, well, try to.
This is their home. What are
home, right? Yeah. And that's the Christopher Columbus mindset that all of us, even us as Black people, we sometimes adapt that Christopher Columbus mindset when we venture out. So I had to snap back out of it, and I'm like, Vanessa, this is they're doing what they can with what they have. So when I got back in later that night, listen, let me tell you something. The power of an iPhone and a good internet connection will take you far. I always tell people, you have a smartphone in your hand. Like, the world is at your fingertips.
It's at your fingertips. You're right.
It's not like back in the day. I had to go to the library to go look at an encyclopedia, and those books were real dated. So I had to look at information from from whenever they printed it. Like, we literally can see information right as it changes. Versus when I was like in elementary school, I had to go to the North Miami Library, go look in the what is it, like the. You have to pull out the thingy, like the cards.
What are they called?
Okay, it's an M35. and then you have to go look for the sections. It's not like that
I
anymore,
still
right?
do that now,
Yeah.
just to try to lose the skill.
Right.
Sleep.
I used to have to do that, and it wasn't even that long ago if you think about it. Like that's how fast technology works.
Mhm.
So to say that is like when you have a good internet connection and a smartphone at your hand,
Mhm.
listen, you could dominate, right?
Right.
So later on that night when I got back from I came back from the mountains. I googled where does trash go when we throw it away. I just googled them because I didn't know to Google waste management. I didn't know to Google
Right.
anything. I just Googled what my mind thought of. Where does
Same.
trash go when we throw it away? And then I saw like all these articles on how the United States, Canada, every country was shipping at that time, and this was November 2017. At that time, every country was shipping all their waste to China. What China would do, yes. Remember, waste management is $1 trillion industry.
Right. I was going to say, yeah, we don't
So
have landfills like that anymore.
right. So
Right.
what they were doing, they were shipping their trash to China, and China would then make our clothes. They would make toys. They would make furniture. Because China is like industrial. Like everything is
Right.
industrial. Industrial.
Absolutely.
They make everything. This is why we see everything's made in China because they're buying all our waste and they're
The
manufacturing it.
recycling. Mm-hmm.
So boom, everywhere, every country in the world was selling their trash to China. When we threw it away, waste management came to pick it up. Waste management would separate it, they would treat it, put it on 40-foot containers, put it on a ship, and it would go over there. But January 2018, China implemented the National Sword Program and they ended the importation of waste because China was like, listen, you guys are becoming reckless. They were sending like, people started sending like dirty diapers and like pallets of wood, things that can't
Right.
be
Recycled.
recycled.
Mhm.
And China was like, you know what? No, we got our own waste. We don't need yours. You guys are becoming too reckless. So they cut it off.
Right.
But then at that same moment, so at that moment, I was like, man, I'm 2 months too late. But then I was just like, wait. So then I kept reading, and I found out that there were other countries that still import
Okay.
waste or recyclables. So then I found those countries. I continued to do research, and from that moment on, EcoRenew Solutions was born.
So you are taking the trash that you collect, and I believe I saw on the website, I'll pay you if you bring in your trash, and now you're turning around and selling it to to
So
other.
yes, so it's
Wow.
twofold. So it's twofold. With the Ziploc bag, right? The Ziploc
Mhm.
bag of plastic. So that's
Mhm.
called LDPE, or even the shopping bags. Like if you go to Publix,
Right.
that's called LDPE plastic. So we make paver bricks out of those too. So like if you want to like pave your driveway, or sometimes you can use it to build a house as well.
Oh,
It's
okay.
comparable to concrete. So what you do is you melt it. You don't burn it, but you melt it and you mix it with sand and you
Uh-huh.
stir it, and it becomes. And then you put the mold. So just how you make cookies, like the
Uh-huh.
cookie
Yeah,
cutter
yeah.
mold. We put it in the mold. We sit it out to dry, and then it becomes the paver. So
And is this something you're doing in conjunction with the government, or this is your
no, this is private
product
sector. This is
for your
private sector.
business?
This
This
is
is
private
private.
sector. This is
Are you
private
for
sector.
profit or not for profit?
I'm for profit.
Oh, awesome. Very cool. Because I was gonna ask that. What's the plan for other products and processes? So you're already in that trajectory.
Yes, yes. We're already in operation. We've been. This is like a full business in Haiti. So on one hand, we make the paver bricks, and
Right.
then on the second hand, we collect and we export. We export to countries like Hamburg, Germany, Slovakia, Turkey,
Mm,
and we're going to start in Mexico
okay.
really soon with one of our partners. And these companies, they sell the plastic to Fiat that makes the cars. So
Right,
the
right,
frames
right.
of the cars, that's plastic. Sealy to make the mattresses,
Very.
that's plastic. So they use that they turn the plastic into yarn because
Mhm.
it's fabric, and then that's how they make the fabric for the mattresses.
So, okay, so there's a lot going on in my
No,
brain.
that's okay. Everybody always gets to this point and they're like, wait.
Would you, I know it's like I'm learning a lot here today. Would you, okay, so you've concentrated most of your efforts in Haiti right now. would you ever bring that model back to the States? Because I don't know anyone that I can think of, but then that being said, I don't know anything about the industry, who is doing something similar, or I didn't even know that was a thing.
Right. So we are in the works of bringing something to Miami like this.
Okay.
So one of our buyers that contracts with Sealy, they want a U.S. made product, even if we import the plastic from Haiti, but they want like the business to be in the United States. And Miami being so like, it's the I think what is it called, like the passport to Latin America or the Caribbean, something like that.
Right, exactly. The gateway to the Caribbean.
The gateway, yeah, exactly, the gateway. So the process with bringing it in America is that there's a lot of red tape. Whereas if you go to the emerging market, it's virgin land, right? It's like you literally can. I'm not saying you can do anything, but you can damn near do anything, right? Once you have the land, once you register the business, like the world is yours and everything in it. Just like that famous tagline. Whereas in America, you have zoning. You can't have it near this. You can't have it near that. You have to pay this. You have to pay, like, you're dishing out like 50, 60, 100K before you even bring in a penny. Whereas me in Haiti, like, I inherited a lot of land. I inherited a warehouse from my parents. And, whatever my parents got is mine anyways.
Right.
So, I mean, you're not using it. I'm like, Mommy, let me get that. Daddy, let me get that. So I'm just, like, because they have real estate that they're not using. So I'm just like, hey, I want to do a business. And I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to have my parents as people who believed in real estate, who invest, that have properties that they're just sitting on that I can use for my own, for my own good. So
so you have your investment in this business has come from, or your family's investment has come from what your family has available to you.
Exactly. So like that actually made it easier to start the business, because if not, I would have had to start looking for land, buy land. You have to get a survey. You have to get a notary. You have to get an attorney. Like, it's a long process, and then you have to see if the person who's selling you the land is even the real owner, because a lot of people do fake paperwork and this and that, like a lot of stuff. Whereas me, I just inherited what I inherited, and I'm just like, hey, I don't even have to do certain things because I have it given. Like that, I just bypass a lot of the other stuff. So it's easy for me to just go in there and get it and get it started. Whereas here, I have to find a place, a good location. Can I zone it here? Can I not? So things like that's really where the dilemma. It's not really a dilemma, but where the planning comes in.
So you work between two countries essentially, because you are here and your work base is in Haiti. How do you operate that? How do you manage that?
I mean, Haiti is just an hour and 30-minute flight away. Okay. But I do have a right hand. I do have an operations manager that handles everything. Even when I'm there, like I am Haitian, but my Creole is very Americanized. So like they know that I'm not Haitian. Like I'm Haitian, but I'm not Haitian.
Yeah. Right. You're American Haitian.
Right. I'm American Haitian. So they're like, like sometimes, they might try to pull a fast one, but like my right hand man, my operations manager handles everything for me. Like I can close my eyes and I know that, all right, this person got it. So so I definitely have, like, having a strong team and being between countries, like operating a business is essential. Like you need somebody, like you need a strong team, because if you don't have a team, you don't have anything. You can't do this by yourself. So that's the reason, like that's the way that I'm able to do this, because I have that strong team.
Have you had to pivot? You've been in operation since 2017. As we just discussed, the pandemic really did not have effect on you. So what or where have you had to sometimes sort of say, okay, let me stop, regroup, and turn this thing around in a different way? What was an example of that?
Well, I mean, we all hear what's going on in Haiti all the time, all the negativity that's always surrounded by Haiti, even though there's a lot of good that should outweigh the bad. But, the media, you need clicks, you need clickbait. But in November, I believe it was November or October, there was like, not sure if you heard, but there was like a big kidnapping of 17 missionaries in Haiti that got kidnapped.
I
That
remember
actually happened
that.
in the neighborhood where I'm at, where
Are you
our business
serious?
is the same neighborhood.
Really?
And it was a very popular gang, very popular, that even I'm scared of. I'm like, listen, I'm not, because I ain't got your ransom money.
Playing with you.
Yeah, I don't got your ransom money, leave me alone. So the land that was there, it's called, that the area is called Quadibuque, and that's the land that I got from my mom, right?
Mhm.
And that was like, that neighborhood was never like that back in the day. So of course, my mom bought it, but then all of a sudden things changed, and then now it's just gang ridden. So when that happened late last year, I had to pivot to go to the north. So Quadibuque is near the capital, right?
Okay.
You can say, if you want to, like, if you're looking on a map, you can say I was in the general Port-au-Prince area, but it was like maybe a couple minutes outside of Port-au-Prince, but generally it's in the Port-au-Prince area, which is like in the south, not all the way to the south, but like the mid-south. So I had to pivot because once I saw that they were always kidnapping, but when I saw that they kidnapped those 17 missionaries,
Right.
like, and they were demanding 1 million each for their head, and I'm just like, I don't even got half a mil. So I was like,
2050 cent at this point.
I'm like, I don't even got the deposit for you. So at that moment,
Let's go up there.
yeah. Exactly. So I'm like, I'm just grab my belongings. You ever see that? It's a GIF online of Viola Davis, and she's grabbing her purse and she's leaving the room. Like, she's like, sorry, I'm gonna head out. Like, so at that moment, I was just like, I gotta pivot, because I wasn't able to have employees out on the street to collect. I wasn't even willing to go there. So how dare I make my employees go? Why? Because they're from there? No.
Right.
Like, if I'm scared, I'm pretty sure you got to be
just scared. Exactly.
And even if they are native to the neighborhood, if something happens to them, I have to pay for the funeral.
Yeah.
I have to give their family a check.
Correct.
So you have to do. I mean, every employer doesn't do that, but I mean, as a human, as someone with morals,
right,
I would
and they were on your dime at the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's the least I can do,
I get
So from that moment, I had to do a big pivot. So my family is originally from the north. Anyways, my mom had just bought that land down there, but my family is originally from the north of Haiti in Cap Haitien. So I mean, I have like so many resources up there. So I use my dad's land. My dad has land up there.
Okay.
And my mom had a warehouse over there. So I just ended up using the warehouse and the warehouse for my mom and the land for my dad to pivot the operations there. So it's like we had to press the reset button, because now we're in a new terrain, we're in a new neighborhood. Had to get new employees. But that was a big pivot, because it's like pressing the restart button on a business that was already established. I already knew the neighborhood, down in Quadibuque. Right. I had employees, everything was established. We had our own rotation going, and now I had to start back at one.
Right.
So that was a big pivot.
Okay, I'm going to talk about you a little bit.
Security there is the security. It's like security. It's like perfect
in the north. And are you still based there now?
Yeah, I'm still based there now. So we didn't close down the other one, because of course I own the land. We just left all the stuff there. I'm like, listen, we don't got to bring nothing. Leave it. We'll come back eventually. Let's go. So so yeah, we had to do what was bad. We had to do
what was that? But it's not wrong, because I would have done that too.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna talk about you a little bit. So I was looking through your bio, and yeah, I joke all the time about us being busy women, but you really kind of are. So you were the appointee in the City of North Miami's Quality Education Board and Parks Recreation Commission, Miami's Next Leader Fellow, former member of the Association of the Haitian Educators of Dade, affiliate of the Ford Motor Company's Her Impact Network. She Builds Global Initiative member, Forbes Top 30 Under 30, and former candidate for the City of Miami District 1 Councilwoman.
Yeah, City of North Miami.
No, City of North Miami. Okay, District 1 Councilwoman seat. So clearly you've been busy over the years.
Yeah, a little bit.
How have you found, and in particular, your work in this civic space, that it has helped you serve you in this capacity as CEO of an entity that's about really saving the world from itself and redefining its resources. What lessons did you learn in those roles that were like, okay, now I can help make this grow?
I think in all of those roles, it helped. Like it's a servant role. All of them are servant roles, right? So let's say the Quality Education Board, we were serving the student population throughout the city of North Miami. So students that went to all the schools in North Miami feeder pattern, in the feeder pattern, North Miami Elementary, North Miami Middle, North Miami Senior High, Arch Creek Elementary, Natural Bridge, W.J. Bryant Elementary, like all the schools, Linda Linton, Ben Franklin K to 8. I'm sure I'm missing some, but Gratney Elementary. So that was a servant role to like, hey, what resources do these students need? Hey, we have a couple of funds. Let's put a scholarship program together. Whether it be the Parks and Recreation Commission, where we're trying to build a solid curriculum of things that the city needs to keep youth involved. I also own a Academics Academy. I didn't mention that. But it's a youth enrichment program, and we did coding for students. We ran a summer camp. We served about 117 students throughout the summer program, winter camps, after school programs at Thomas Jefferson Middle School, Ben Franklin K to 8, and just
you
students
do that now as well.
Well, we paused during the pandemic, but we do have like pop up like culture. So it's called Culture Tech Labs, where we teach the kids how to fly drones, edit their own videos, and then post them online, because we want to step away from being the consumer so much and become the creator, because we don't own any of our content, right? So online, everybody's going viral, everybody's doing this, but it's like, if you don't own your content, you can't cash out on that. We've seen with like the influx of TikTok and how like the Black creators are the ones that are making they're the ones creating all the cool dances, all the cool trends, but then they're not the ones cashing out on
making money on it. Yeah, exactly.
They're not the ones cashing out. So that was the whole point of Culture Tech Labs, is to teach the kids how to record, teach them how to edit, teach them how to post online so that they can monetize their stuff. So in all those capacities that you named, they're all servant roles, and I'm still serving here, even if it is a for-profit. You can still serve as a leader in a for-profit, because
Say that one more time.
You can still serve in the capacity as for-profit, because a lot of people feel like if it's not a nonprofit, then it's shady. No,
if you're not starving and doing it for the passion and the grace.
Exactly. And I think that we as a community, we need to shift our mindset. Everything does not have to be a nonprofit. Like for profit, you pay your bills with for profit.
You do, and you pay to hire people to help them do the work.
Exactly, and that's how you build wealth, right? You build wealth, you build generational wealth, so that one day, if your daughter wants to start a waste management company, you can gift her a piece of land. The whole concept that our community has of getting it out of the mud is not for me, never been for me, not cut out for it. I don't want to get anything out of the mud. If you can peacefully hand it over to me,
right, I will take it.
I will take it. Like, we need to stop this. You got to grind. Like, okay, yes, there is a grind-ish type of component, but like, I don't want to lose too much sleep, because too much sleep is not healthy. Because how am I supposed to function? Like, I want to be healthy. I want to have a balance. I would like assets for you to pass down. I would like for you to leave a life insurance policy for me, so that I can start something. Like, all of this goes hand in hand. Like, it's not just about waste management. It's about the transfer of wealth, because my mom passed away, and that's how I was able to attain that land. That's how I was able to use her life insurance policy to create,
start this business.
Yeah, to start these businesses. Like, it's bigger than just starting a business. It's actually putting those systems in place so that we don't have to keep pressing the restart button every generation.
Exactly.
And I always say for that, I don't want to press the restart button.
That's going to be a quote moment for me. Yes. I'm not joking. That is a quote.
Write it down. We don't have to keep pressing the restart button.
Exactly. So are you finding, to that point, this transformational mindset change around not only that aspect of the business development, but also around this, we've got to save the planet, ergo saving ourselves. Are you seeing a mindset shift in the work that you're doing?
I am, because like I said in the beginning, if people don't know about it, they don't even know how much it impacts them, right? But once you start telling people, hey, you know that when you order that fish, if you go to let's say you go to a nice restaurant, and you're ordering a snapper, like that snapper probably has fish. I mean, it has plastic in it. But and then now, if you go to the doctor, then hey, now you have some type of illness in you, and you're like, yo, I'm healthy, like. I don't have this history. I don't have this history of this. I don't have this history of that. You don't have to have the history, because guess what?
Right.
Because we're improperly dumping plastic bottles. Oh, I'm just gonna throw this right quick. I'm just throwing it out the window right quick. There's no right quick. There's no right quick, because guess what? A fish is gonna eat the plastic bag. Those balloon releases that we're doing, the fish is gonna eat it. What's gonna happen? I mean, if you want to take a balloon and eat it right here on a dinner table and cut it up, don't put it in the ocean, because it's gonna enter us. And this is why now, like, you see a lot of Black women have fibroids. We have a lot of these illnesses that we weren't having before. Like, all of it is like a big goulash of environment. It's all environmental. Like, just like me, I like to take inventory on how my body's feeling, right? So last month, I know I've never eaten meat like that for real, like even as a kid, because I used to be like, I said to my parents, it takes too long to chew. I just want something easy, right? So like, and it's not, I'm not vegan, I'm not vegetarian, none of that. I was just lazy. But even me as an adult, now I just I don't eat meat like that, because I'm still very lazy. I don't want to chew too much. Like, just blend it up for me. But like last month, I saw that like I ate meat, like I was eating like on the go a lot, and then like I wasn't feeling good. I wasn't feeling good this month when I was taking inventory, like and I was just like, what? It had to have been me just eating those wings. Like you go out to eat, like happy hour, you're eating wings. I'm just like, yeah, I should never.
Especially if you're not used to it.
Right, exactly. So like there's an environmental impact on our body. Like even if we don't want to go deep into say, hey, we're going to be by 2030, they're predicting that Miami's going to be underwater. By 2050, they said that Miami's going to be underwater. Even if we're like, I'm going to do it with me, I'm not going to be here, I'm not going to be alive. Let those people deal with it. Even if we don't want to think that far out, think about our health,
day to day,
our day-to-day health. How now these new illnesses are coming out, and you're like, I don't have a history of that. Well, the environmental impact, like the ozone layer, like all of that impacts us. It all impacts us, and we're not thinking that far out. But it is. It's an impact.
So, are you a full-time CEO?
Full-time CEO.
Cool. Congratulations. Well, again, I recognize you're a busy woman, so I won't take up too much more of your time. But before you go, I do want to find out how we can find you.
Yes, you can contact EcoRenew Solutions. You can contact me if you want to find out more information or just have questions about it. Our email address is info@EcoRenewSolutions, at the end.com. EcoRenew_solutions on Instagram, and EcoRenew Solutions on Facebook. I answer all the DMs. I answer the emails directly. So if you have any questions, just anything that you need to say, you can always contact us on our social media platforms, or just info@EcoRenewSolutions.com.
Okay, thank you so much.
www.EcoRenewSolutions.com is where you can find everything. If you don't remember anything else, just remember the name and you'll just Google it. It'll be the first thing that pops up.
That's true, because when I Googled it, it was the first thing to pop up. Thank you so much. I'll definitely have to thank Joan for connecting us. I think this was very educational and informative. And I hope we can stay connected.
Yes, we definitely have to stay connected. When you sent me information, I went down the Google rabbit hole, like I like to call it, and I was watching all the videos, and I'm like, oh, look at these interviews with people that are in Miami, and I'm just like, I really like learning. I like listening to other entrepreneurs. Like, I love it.
Absolutely. It started in the pandemic for that reason. So many people were going through this pivot thing, and I felt like it's just a way to help us help each other.
Yes.
So,
we're not going through it alone, and even exposing each other to other industries. Because a lot of the people that I was listening to, I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. Like, I never gave it a thought. So like, let me learn more. So why not? Like, I'm somebody, I love to learn. I love to research. So at any opportunity I learn something new, I love it. I like to soak it in.
So, okay, then, we'll call you back again then.
Yeah, anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Have a good one. So thank you everybody for joining in today. I told you we were going to learn some stuff, and I definitely did. I don't even think I looked down at any of my questions. At any rate, have a great day, and we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye. This episode was brought to you thanks to Florida A&M University's Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative.